There is a moment in this show where Clark Kent Superman is shirtless, and first of all, I'm just like, hey, Clark. But they don't draw any nipples on him. And I don't know, I just found that a little bit weird. I'm like, what is cartoons' aversion to drawing nipples? Give me nipples! Free the nipple! And welcome to my safe Gaven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and joining me for another non-spoiler review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. If this is your first time checking me out and checking out my channel, first and foremost, thank you so much. Let me introduce myself. My name is Michael. I call myself the Black Gay Comic Geek, and I always say the things that I love to talk about on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk superheroes, video games, comic books, action movies, horror movies, sci-fi, fantasy, and of course I like to talk about black representation and queer representation. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you enjoy the personality, if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy what I have to say in the commentary, and you think representation matters and representation equals normalization, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, become one of my safe Gaveneers, become a regular here on the channel. Hit me in the comments and introduce yourself and say you are a new subscriber so I can say hi. And with that said, tell your other friends and families and neighbors and everything else about my channel so I can continue to grow, so I think I'm at 7,700 subscribers. Let's get to 8,000 subscribers. Let's get to 9,000, 10,000, 11,000, all the way up to 100,000. Those are lofty goals. But with that said, you can also help me get to 100,000 followers. I'm saying that like that's ever going to happen. Who knows? But stranger things, right? Whether you're subscribed or not, do me a favor, hit that like button. It'll really help with the YouTube algorithm and getting this video out there, which can recommend to other people and getting my channel out there so more people could get their eyes on my channel and subscribe. Hit that like button. Thank you so much. And also watch, like, share, comment, interact on this video for the all gay rhythm. Now, with that said, we are here to talk about DC's come on a roll with new properties and everything like that. I guess it's technically not part of the DCU, but it's still a new DC animated show. And for the most part, the DC animated shows and movies in particular have been fire lately, or just period. And that's one thing that they definitely have over Marvel with regards to their animated properties. But this property is called My Adventures with Superman. The episodes will first air on Adult Swim. I'm not sure what day. And then the very next day, they'll be on HBO Max. So the first episode is currently on HBO Max. I want to say thank you to Warner Brothers, Adult Swim, and DC for sending me the first 7 episodes. There are 10 episodes in total. I got to see the first 7 episodes. So I'm going to give my non-spoiler thoughts just regarding the series overall and what I thought about the series. Again, I haven't seen the entire thing. I've only seen the first 7 episodes, but thank you, Warner Brothers and DC. But to get into that, to give you a synopsis for My Adventures with Superman, Clark Kent builds his secret Superman identity and embraces his role as the hero of Metropolis, while sharing adventures and falling in love with Lois Lane, a journalist who also takes Jimmy Olsen under her wing. And the first episode, I believe it came out yesterday, the 7th, and the voice actress that is playing Lois Lane is actually a Korean actress, Alice Lee. I'm not familiar with her. I believe she was on soap opera like As the World Turns and things like that. And then voicing Clark Kent Superman is Jack Quaid, who most people know from The Boys. Huey, I think that's his name, the main guy, not Butcher, but the other main guy. Yeah, it is Huey. And then he was also the killer in the Scream 5. And then playing the voice and voicing the role of Jimmy Olsen, they made Jimmy Olsen black. His name is Ishmael Saeed. And there's one like small attention to detail in the animation that I really loved with regards to this show, and something you don't really see. I can't really think any animation style that really does this. And you know how black people, like, we have our skin tone on this side, but then our palm are always much lighter. That's something that they did with the Jimmy Olsen character. Like, you see his palms are much lighter as opposed to that all being just one monotone color. And that's something I thought was really cool that they actually did that, because you don't really, that level of attention to details is something that you don't see in animated movies. And so speaking of that, I really enjoyed the animation style and the animation in this movie. And it comes to find out, I actually learned this yesterday, that the company that does the animation, I'll have to look up who it is, they're actually the same ones that did the animation for Legend of Korra. Their name is Studio MIR. They apparently also did the animation for Voltron, Legendary Defender, which was on Netflix. They did season 3 of Harley Quinn, that's on HBO Max. And they did a bunch of other animated styles. And based on what I just looked up, like Harley Quinn, Voltron, Legend of Korra, they obviously have proven themselves to do great work. And this show, My Adventures with Superman, is no exception, because the animation is beautiful. And also, speaking more and getting more into the animation style, this show, not even just in the animation, but in the way it's portrayed and the storyline and everything like that, and the way the story unfolds and the characters and how sometimes the animation changes and everything like that. Like, this show pays a lot of homages and it's very much inspired by a lot of anime. And this show is basically an anime version of Superman. Like, even based on this first episode, it's not a spoiler, because, you know, and first episode is out, but there's a whole Sailor Moon transform sequence where Superman puts on, or Clark Kent puts on the Superman costume and becomes Superman. Like, they have a whole, like, I was waiting for them to bust out into a Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon. I was waiting for them to bust out into a whole Sailor Krypton sequence. Like, so it's definitely very anime, especially in the way, because right now he's new. Like, the story and the animation of this show takes place where Superman and Clark Kent, he's still brand new. He's a brand new Superman. So he's still discovering his powers. He's still discovering his identity. And he's an intern at the Daily Planet. And so is Lois Lane, and so are Jimmy Olsen. So they're much younger versions than the versions we know from the comics and the movies. Honestly, I would say they're probably about between 21 to 25 years old. And honestly, funny enough, being that this show debuted on Adult Swim, I thought it was gonna be more Rick and Morty, more adult type. And based on the first 7 episodes, no, it's really not. It's just a regular animated cartoon about My Adventures with Superman. And so obviously, with it being a Superman story, a DC property, you do get to see some familiar characters show up, not just Lois, not just Jimmy, Perry White. They mentioned other villains that I'm not gonna bring up in here. I believe the first episode did feature Livewire, so there's that. And then there's other villains and characters that show up throughout the season. Then, of course, you know, with everything that's happening in the superhero universe, they do have some references and their version of this thing to happen. I'm not saying what it is, but it's a thing that's currently happening in superhero stories right now. So if you figure that out, you'll figure out where part of the story goes. And so with that said, I enjoyed the series. I had a great time watching it. Every single episode was enjoyable. I would like to see how the series ends, those last 3 episodes and where it goes and everything like that. So overall, I would totally recommend checking out My Adventures with Superman. I know there are a lot of people that don't like Superman because they think Superman's boring and all other stuff. It's just, no, Superman isn't boring. You just haven't really read or seen any good Superman stories, but there are a lot of good Superman stories out there. The problem is just, like, there are a lot of writers that don't really know how to write Superman because he's so powerful and things. But it's like, the greatest Superman stories aren't necessarily about the villains that he has to face. It's about his connection to the world and his connection to humanity. And then also threats that he has to face that he can't just punch his way out of. And those are the best Superman stories. And so I definitely recommend checking out those type of Superman stories. And then also, like, Superman, Batman, Public Enemy. That was a great, and that's a DC animated movie. I believe it's on HBO Max. That's a great story. My Adventures with Superman is pretty good. So, like I said, I definitely recommend checking it out. But the question is, have you guys checked out My Adventures with Superman? What did you think about it? What did you think about the first episode? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you can, once again, I can't emphasize enough, hit that thumbs up button and hit that like button and help with this video, with the YouTube algorithm and getting this video out there. If I get 50 views on this video, let me get 50 likes. If I get 100 views on this video, let me get 100 likes. If I get 400 views, let me get 400 likes, 1,000, etc. However many views I get, please hit that like button. Again, it helps with the algorithm. It helps with the algorithm. It helps with, or sorry, as I should say, the all gay rhythm. So help out the all gay rhythm and hit the like button. And also tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And if this is your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more. Hit the like button on those other videos and hit the bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.